Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Today we are doing breaking down and pulling apart, where we basically take a song by a certain band and we break it down and pull it apart. Funny that. We've all gone away. We've looked at this particular video that we're going to talk about today, and we've broken it into 1 minute sections so we can talk about them in turn to you, the viewer at home. We're going to play you 1 minute of each of the song as we go and talk through. So today we're doing Mastodon, and the song is Blood and Thunder. It's off of Leviathan. It's the second album. It's a concept album. Came out in 2004, and the band had only been going since 2000. So it's now 20 years since this album came out. Mastodon is a band that I've heard in passing. It's again a band I've never given time of day to be honest. I'm like, nah, it's going to be big, it's going to be heavy, but I've got enough big and heavy bands in my collection to listen to. I don't really need another one, so I'll just avoid it, to be quite honest. I've got bands like Prong, I've got bands like that, which is, I kind of had this vibe, it was going to be a Prong-esque sort of vibe to this band. Looking at my notes, yeah, pretty much. But it's, I was like, I've already got that kind of thing, so I didn't really spend any time looking for them. So, bit surprising. Have you, Andy, you heard of Mastodon before or covered them?
Yeah, pretty much what you said. It's a band that I know people like. Wasn't really sure what genre they fitted in. Wasn't drawn to them again, but I quite enjoyed this track. But it's not a band that I sought out or heard before. So this was sort of an introduction to the Mastodon for me.
Kirk, you covered Mastodon before?
I remember when the album came out, it won the Terrorizer Album of the Year, and Kerrang awarded it #1 album. So I know this song and the singles. To me, this is a band everyone seems to love and no one wants to criticize. And their last two albums, Emperor of Sand, 2017, and then I remember listening to 2021's Hushed and Grim, and to me, they seem to be on a downward trajectory. I think they've become quite predictable. I don't really see the Prong influence. To me, this is progressive sludge metal. You could argue they invented that whole idea of combining Genesis with Melvins, which sounds strange and is. But yeah, let's get into it and we can pick apart the influences.
Sure. Let's give you the first minute of the song for you at home. Apologies about the quality of the video, but that's the quality of the video that was available for us. Okay, first minute. So I'm going to talk about the Prong because I heard Prong all over this. I heard industrial metal vibe, felt like Prong, a lot of groove, a lot of hook, and some nice dissonant chords in there. Not much more to add really about that, but yeah, I get the Prong influences for me. Listening back to not 2000s Prong, but maybe earlier Prong, like 90s, like from the Controller era, maybe that era, Rude Awakening. There's definitely some influence in there from my point of view, and I'd be surprised if Mastodon doesn't say that Prong had some impact on them, but if they don't, they're lying. Andy.
It's unusual I've actually got more to say about a song than you, especially for one that I don't know, but I felt there's a lot going on in this first minute. I really like that sort of that riff, the really simple, which sort of starts off in like a rock tone, and after a couple of bars they metalize it, which I thought was really, really good. Clear, crisp drumming, like you, some more really good hooky riffs, and I like the vocals as well. You know, is again, we've talked about, is he actually singing or is he just sort of almost spoken word?
Yeah,
it's between the two there. So I really like, you know, the opening minute of this song. What I didn't like was I don't like clowns. I don't like carnivals, and this is basically what this video is about. I don't like that Pennywise Stephen King creation. not that I'm scared and terrified. I'm like some people. I just don't. I'm not drawn to the the whole image of it, whether it's supposed to be menacing or whether it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. It just doesn't. Clowns don't work for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is what's made this. No video, not many notes about the video, but the song. I really like the opening minute or so.
Bit off-putting for you, the video.
Yeah.
Okay. Kirk.
Yeah, I just don't see the prong influence because the guitars, Tommy Victor is really sharp in the mix and high treble here. It's very sludgy. To me, this reminds me more of Melvin's the Houdini album from 1992. The chorus, though, Dave, question for you. I was hearing White Zombie in this chorus, the way that he delivers it, because it comes in, I think, after 50 seconds, where it's actually quicker than you think for a prog band to get there. Did you hear?
I haven't noted it, but it's interesting you mentioned White Zombie, which again, which Tommy Victor has influenced with prong, and so
okay, yeah,
just gonna throw that in there.
Yeah, I mean it establishes the main riff straight away, doesn't it? And hooks you in. It's one of the more famous songs. I think the vocals, it's their style here. I would have had them higher in the mix, to be honest. And like you said, you don't even is he doing that like snarling, hissing type spoken word, or is he actually?
It's a bit of a weird mix.
He's got a sinister smile on his face throughout, hasn't he?
It's definitely more covered in the next minute. So let's play the next minute for you at home. So minute 1 to minute 2 for you at home. So Kirk, yeah, you're right. So it's a real weird mix between hardcore and singing. He's not quite deciding which way he's going to go on it. It's almost a gang chorus without being a gang chorus. But there's a lovely bit with the dual guitars in this section. So the guitars kind of do this two dual guitar lead part. And it made me think of Aladdin and Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights. It's got this really cool... that's the only way I could think of it. Aladdin, Arabian Nights. I didn't want to go, it's got this Mediterranean or Middle Eastern feel, or there's something like an ethnic instrumentation from that part of the world. And Aladdin's Arabian Nights was the only way I could really phrase it. But it's really interesting when bands take those kind of weird stances and put them into songs. So I enjoyed that element of it. Andy?
Yeah, so did I. I've noted down that there's this sort of guitar harmonization section over the riffs from the first part of the song. I didn't make the connection with sort of Arabian and sort of Middle Eastern sort of instrumentation, to be honest, but I will say one more thing about the video. I said I wouldn't have anything else, but it's like we've got clowns watching we've got clowns watching a gig where clowns are performing, and it's just really pushing me away from this whole visual of it. But I enjoying the song. You mentioned this is from a concept album called Leviathan. Is that the one with Moby Dick on the front?
Yeah, it's based on Herman Melville's Moby Dick, the entire album.
That's what I thought. So what's this got to do with Moby Dick then?
I know. I don't know. I mean, with this, one thing that stands out is the drum work from Brandaler. I mean, there's a swarm of ghost notes. It is so impressive. Remember the first time I heard it, a lot of it's just snare rolls, aren't they? Double single stroke rolls, but it's just so busy in this, and it stands out. But yeah, what really saves this song is, Andy, this will remind you of Chuck Schuldiner. He used to do this in Death. He's using harmonic minor scales. That's what gives it that Middle Eastern Arabian vibe.
Right.
And that's really first done. You could argue by Metallica in Creeping Death. They do that in that midsection, but I think we would trace it back to Death, Zombie Ritual from their 1987 album, Scream Bloody Gore. And then Chuck just did that on every album until it just became his signature thing. And they do it really well here because I think the song's becoming predictable. And that just comes from nowhere, doesn't it? And it's really quite flamboyant as well, the way that they're playing it. So it's a great shift in mood. I think that's so intelligent, the way they've done that at 1 minute and 40 seconds. And it's a great place to insert that because it's becoming quite predictable, I would say. And then this just completely changes the landscape, this part.
But that lead part also adds to the carnival aspect of the video. That mood of the guitar playing, that Arabian Nights kind of thing, twisted carnival-esque. So it adds to the element of the video. Again, I don't understand what these creepy clowns and carnivals has to do with the word song, blood and thunder at all, and what Moby Dick is. It makes absolutely no fucking sense, any of that at all. But it's interesting. We're going to play the next minute of the song. It's minute 2 to minute 3 for you at home. Okay, I'm going to go completely against Andy here, and I say I love the carnival aspect of this video. Because you can tell it's like I've got to the point now in my notes where I'm like, okay, I've been head down making notes about all the musical elements. And now at this point, it's minutes 2 and 3, I'm like, let me watch the video for a little bit. And I'm watching it going, do you know what? I have no idea what it's got to do with it, but I actually loved the video. I thought it was really interesting to kind of like try and pull parts out of it. We've got this interesting guttural mid-vocal delivery during this section, which reminded me of during this midsection, American Head Charge was a very key point. So if you're a fan of American Head Charge, you'll be able to put it out. And I've got a few albums of theirs, and it did kind of work for me there. But it doesn't add anything specific to the song. It's another one of these kind of mid-break sections where they've thrown it in for the sake that they need something to break the song up. But it doesn't really take you, and it doesn't stand out on its own. It's just another kind of place to take you, but it's just like almost like a sidebar. It's not really a section on its own, which was good, but yeah, nothing to really write home about and tell anyone about, to be honest. Andy,
I've just been playing the video, and it's only the vocalist who's performing as a clown. I noticed the rest of the band have all got fezzes on, which again relates to this Middle Eastern guitar tone Arabian Nights thing.
Okay.
All ties in with that. I've just got down this section has got some really sort of slower, heavier riffs, you know, which I really enjoyed. That's all I've got to say on this section of the song, to be honest.
Kirk.
We're still in the era when major labels sign promising metal bands to their roster, aren't we, in 2004? And I think this is one of the highest years for CD sales. You know, without knowing it at the time, you would think 4 years later it's going to go into decline. And they come around at the right time. And I think they're still signed to a major label, which is it's an anathema now, to have a heavy metal band on a major label. They must have signed like a 7-album contract or something. I would say, listening back to this, there's nothing anthemic here, but there's like this momentous energy that sweeps you up like the ocean. So I understand the excitement. I just cannot understand why I've never got into this band. Every other prog metal band that I like all cite Mastodon and say they're the best band on the planet. You know, these are some of my favorite musicians. Every time I listen to them, I like them, and I just never have the urge to go and listen to their back catalogue. I have listened to this one a few times, and the drumming stands out for me, as it probably is the birth of progressive sludge metal. with this band, but I just can't understand why I do not swear by these. I should like these, I do, but I just don't have the impetus to go and check out the discography, the back catalogue.
Because it's interesting. When the first time I heard of the band Mastodon, I heard them in the same conversation as someone mentioned Gojira.
Yeah.
And both bands I never got into at all. Because I never bothered. Neither of the names made me go, oh, I really need to go check these bands out. They sound really interesting.
Same, Dave, yeah.
And because I was into music, I was already listening to loads of music. So I'm like, why am I going to stop listening to music I'm really enjoying to go off and find out about bands that have done nothing to really entice me in with, like, they've got a cool name or they've got something that's like tells me about them. And then I heard Gojira and I was like, yeah, they're quite good, but I've got a lot of bands I listen to that are quite like them. And so I never bothered to go down Mastodon's route because I was like, meh, you've not really, I've got enough music to keep me going. I don't even have enough time to listen to all the music I've got. Why do I need more bands to listen to? I ain't got time for them. Yeah. Like Andy's looking at your CD collection going, I still haven't listened to half of those yet.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same attitude. We often go through these and these big bands that everybody knows and everybody likes that I've never got into purely for the reasons you've just described. I've got my little niches and my genres that I do like. I haven't really got the time and inclination to say, oh, you might like Gojira or Mastodon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I probably would, but I need to find the time. I'm actually getting that way now. Sort of finding, maybe maturing a little bit with my musical taste, like Latter Day Anathema. Strange you should mention that, Kirk. I love early Anathema. The Doom, Death Doom, and you can see the progression. But anything after Eternity, I've never listened to. But I'm getting into them now, and I'm really enjoying it. Dream Theater's another one. I never listened to Dream Theater a few years ago, but to cover them on the channel. More mature sort of style of music, more creative, more technical. Get into it. So, like Mastodon, I might sort of go down that path now. I've got the opportunity to.
Do you know what the funny thing is there'll be people that will, with that comment we've made about, oh, well, their names, we didn't find the time or we haven't got time to check them out. They'll go, well, that's disgraceful. You should be taking time. You should go and find them out. Because they'll go, they're an amazing band. But I guarantee that there'll be bands that we listen to that they'll go, I've never heard them.
Yeah.
Why haven't you not checked the bands out that we like?
Yeah.
You've not taken the time. And that's the problem. There's only so many bands you can listen to. So it does take, once you start to fill your quota up of the amount of bands that you've got, it does take a lot of time. Unless you're like someone like you, Kirk, who kind of does it like literally does the reviews and all the new releases, and you go out for your 8-hour walks and around the whole country and you want to put your headphones on and try out something new. When you're just in the van going to work, you're like, I don't want to check something new. I want to go to something that I like. I want to rock out to something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's play the last 56 seconds of the song for you at home. Okay, final summaries from me. So, main riff is good. It's hooky. It's a tasty riff. Good use of palm muting. And I liked they added some new open chords in this section, which just added a little bit more dynamics to the song, which were lacking in certain other points. So they just tried to change up the dynamics a little bit on this last section of the song, which was good because it needed it. Overall, it's a good track for what it is. But I'm going to take Andy's on it, but it's not going to be a band I'm going to explore any further based on this one song. It's just not done anything for me that I'm like, you may be back in the day, you may have been the spearheaded of a movement, but I've heard bands that I enjoy a lot more within that genre. So I'll stick with those for the moment, but there might be a better song for me. There might be a much better song that would stick out for me, that would tempt me, but it's not the song that's going to gatekeep me Ian, we said that with we talked about Nightwish years ago on one of our videos, and we are like, what's the song that you would use? Because the song that I would use to get me into Nightwish was not the one. So like Everdream, when I first heard Everdream of Nightwish, still didn't get me into Nightwish. But when I heard Elan off a much later album with Floor Jansen singing, I got into Nightwish. And then when I went back to Everdream, I was like, oh, that's a great song. But the first time I heard Everdream, it didn't work for me. This is not going to get me into Mastodon, unfortunately. But Andy?
This might get me into Mastodon. I think it was a really good track. I mean, I've just got down for the last minute or so that there isn't in the song, but if this was played live, there's almost like a crowd interaction, sort of chant back part from the vocals, and that first sort of rock stroke metal riff that you know, that simple one comes back as well to finish off the song. So I think this has done enough for me to maybe check out this album, certainly because I love concept albums, love Moby Dick, so it'd be an interesting one for me. I mean, I do remember the cover and thinking, you know, it's a really sort of classic sort of artwork, you know, classic style of artwork. You know, it's not a modern design. Mastodon, like you said at the beginning, Dave, that they do sound big, they do sound heavy. You know, just from what the word is. You know, you would hope that reflects the music. So covering this may have done enough for me to sort of check out Mastodon, or certainly this album anyway, because I really enjoyed it.
I'm sure the diehards will be offended that we're going to be making a judgment from one song on a concept album, but how else are you going to discover it? I think if you do have time, listen to the album chronologically, because we know it's following the story of Moby Dick. And this to me is kind of like a transition track on the album. It doesn't stand out, so I'm surprised that they chose this as a single. But if you listen to it as one piece of art, Leviathan, if you had time, I think you probably could get into it, Dave. Gojira, Andy, sorry, I should just say, yeah, go and check out their 2005 album From Mars to Sirius. That is a game changer in certainly in progressive death metal. But yeah, Mastodon, we I don't know what it is. I just don't. There's nothing to dislike. Everything I've heard, I'm like, yeah, this is good. I just can't get into it for some reason. I can't describe it. It's like with Opeth, just one of those bands that I know that they're good. I own one album like everyone else does, Blackwater Park. Everyone owns that album, don't they? But I just don't have the inclination to go and explore the back catalogue, and I don't really know why, because I cannot find anything to dislike about this music.
Well, on that bombshell there from Kirk. That was our review of Mastodon's Blood and Thunder. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching today, and we'll see you in another video sometime very soon. Take care.